motion this
So
evening?
moved.
The next item on the agenda is been moved by Councilman Brown. Have a second? Second by Councilman Arnott. Any further discussion? No discussion, those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, same. Okay. In the workstation, Katie, do you have anything at this time?
No.
Okay, thank you. Lynn? No? Okay. Chris, you want to come and visit with us about the code amendment for RV trailers and trailer park?
Yeah, and I'm going to ask you guys to think about these as two separate items. That is the RV parking and utility trailer parking. We've already got RV parking code, and I'm sure if you got a copy of that or not.
Section 804 we got.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And probably 7 or 8 years ago, when the planning commission updated the zoning regulations, the council approved that. We had, prior to that time, there was no parking of RVs on the streets whatsoever, or in front of the houses for that matter. That was kind of onerous for residents in town. So had been requested and agreed upon that we'd allow, say, a 6-month period that they could park their RVs, campers, boats, that kind of thing on the streets or in front of their house. That is like up in a driveway or something like that. But that 6-month period was kind of an arbitrary thing. Now, I found out in the last couple of years that our residents are using these campers into October. All right, so to have them remove the campers, either RVs or boats, like I say, and get them stored properly in October while they're still trying to use them, may not be quite fair to our residents. So I wanted to bring this item to you for discussion and see what your thoughts are about extending that another month. In other words, from the end of September to the end of October.
I don't know if I have a problem. One thing I'd like to see is, I don't know how many times I've come around a corner at night and you don't see these things. I'd like to see them be required to put some reflective tape or something.
Well, I think most of your RVs are
Mostly boats.
reflective,
Yeah.
all right? Boat trailers, in my experience, do have reflective of some kind. The campers do, right? And maybe you want to add that in there to make sure that that's the
Well, it
case,
sure
that's
be
fine.
nice, because, boy, I've got close to getting them. You don't see them until you clear around the
Yeah.
corner.
Well,
Well, if you wouldn't take those corners, it's.
Well, I know.
So we're up a little.
Yeah, and if that's the way you'd like to see the language in the amendment, I think that's,
Well, I don't know if we have to, but I would certainly encourage it.
well, if we don't legislate it, then there's no requirement for
That's
that.
legislative. I have another question, and I'm not trying to pick on anybody, but up there at 8th and Broadway, Precision Contract,
Mhm.
is that trailer legal parked on the end of his house?
It is, yeah.
It's in his front yard.
Well, it's the side, well, side the house, yeah.
But it's his front yard, it's on a corner.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just asking.
Yeah, well,
You
Good
can't
point.
make one person stick to it and not the rest.
okay,
I mean, I don't know if it's right or wrong. It is a front yard, and it's, rules are rules.
yeah.
Has the planning commission granted them any?
Sorry?
Has the planning commission granted them any variances on that?
No.
He's a planning commissioner, right?
Well, it used to be.
But he could park that same trailer in his backyard in front of his building back there.
Yes.
And that wouldn't be a problem.
That's right.
And if it wasn't a corner, it's perfectly legal, but I mean, I didn't make the rules.
Yeah, that gives him 2 front yards. And,
Yeah.
I know another guy that has that.
Well, what about these little trailers? Longhorn?
Well, if you'll allow me, let's do this RV thing first, and we'll get to the other
Oh,
utility
okay,
trailer.
I'm sorry.
That's what I was asking for.
You're asking for another month?
Are we talking about anywhere in front of the house that they choose to park it? The street, the driveway, the whatever?
That's correct. The 80, this,
I would rather that they be off the street for that length of time.
yeah. Again, the old code didn't permit it at all. This one allows on the street and the driveway or front yard.
Are they like any other vehicle, have to be moved every 72 hours if they're
No.
out on the street?
No,
Once every 6 months.
no. Well, they typically move every weekend. You know,
Yeah.
and a lot of
Yeah.
times, most of them are gonna be parked out at the lake or something, you know, for most of the summer. So
One of
most of the
the-
summer is not a problem. It's just this time of year.
I know the fair board allows, you know, they rent spaces at the fairgrounds for trailers and stuff. And I know a lot of the people will go ahead and use those trailers through the end of, you know, a lot of times through the mid to end of November, you know, before they store them. You know, and some of them will bring them back in, you know, but that can create a nightmare too, as far as, well, if I've gotta get it off the street and I've gotta bring it into storage, and then I've gotta take it out of storage if I wanna go back up to the lake.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, and like I said, they're still, you know, a lot of them like to get in their hoodies and whatnot, and have a little campfire going on, they don't have the mosquitoes. All right, well, they're doing that in October, you know, and then it gives them a few weeks to get their campers cleaned up, winterized and stored. So I think, I'm just asking for.
I mean, I think it'd be good to give them a 30 days.
I think a 30-day extension would be prudent.
They make a sizable investment, they pay a lot of property tax on this.
Sure.
You know, I would go along with that, but you know, myself, if I was gonna have a camper, I think I'd plan ahead and have a place to park it before.
Well, and most of them do, but they're still using it
Yeah.
in October, when I'm gonna be beating them down for
No, I
for
don't-
doing
I
it,
don't
so.
have a problem.
Well, and I think in some cases you have sent letters to some of the.
We have, yeah. Yeah, this has been going on for years.
Yes.
And I'm starting to hear more and more now that we're still using them.
Yeah.
And so it was time to come to council and ask your thoughts on this.
So we go another month.
I don't have a problem.
Okay? We'll do up in a minute and bring that to you
As
here.
long as you find something else to do in October.
Well, that's coming next.
Yeah, I go with the filing.
That's coming next.
Now we're moving on to trailers.
Now, let's talk about utility trailers just parked on the
I
spot.
move that we adjourn.
I second.
We all have vested interest.
I think
Mine's not on there.
It's not. You were using it that day. In fact, I saw you that day hauling your blower around. But all this is, the pictures I showed you are just examples of utility trailers on side streets throughout town. And I get half a dozen calls every year about these. So again, I just wanted to bring the issue to you for discussion.
What's the complaint that you're getting? Is it just that they're there?
Well, that they're there, that they are an obstacle and they're not illuminated and.
Some of them don't move for, I know one that hasn't even moved for 6 months.
So what are you asking for on this, on the trailer?
A code,
A
a
code?
regulation, yeah.
We don't
Yeah.
have anything right now.
We don't have anything right now for utility.
You can park trailers anywhere,
Yeah,
on the street.
Is that gonna be difficult?
I don't think so.
Well, what
You
about,
write up a code and bring it to us.
Chris, what about, and I don't wanna cause any grief for Danny, but you know, what about him now? Is this gonna prohibit him from parking his stuff out front?
It's gonna be a challenge for most folks who are parking trailers on the street.
I think he's gonna get out of the business anyway.
Yeah.
I wouldn't.
Contractor's gonna
He has, Dan has a place to go with his, you know. He's just in every day, all day, and that's convenient. That's the most convenient for him.
He's a
Right.
worker, he hardly has time to park it.
Yeah.
I know with mine, Bob, I mean, I've got a place that I can go with it if it comes up.
Yes.
But it's so handy for me
Yeah,
to have it
You
there.
move yours all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, Danny moved.
and I've got a place to park mine.
Some of these
here,
don't get
and,
moved.
You know,
I park my trailer in my backyard, is that gonna be an issue with any?
No, I don't think so. I did get a complaint on a boat you had back there, but you've got room enough between the alley right of way and your fence to park that. So it wasn't an issue. I never came back to you about that.
So somebody's complaining about it?
Yeah. But it was not a valid, it was not a valid complaint, so. Yeah, so if there's consensus to move forward on this, we'll come up with some language to address the utility trailers, parking on the street.
Then I guess that leads us to our next issue. What about parking utility trailers in your side yard? We have some
That's-
yards that have several
Yeah,
that are not very attractive. So are we moving the problem?
Are we doing it because it's a safety hazard or because it's not attractive?
Well, I think, in some of these where you've got two, multiple, and that's a safety, you can't even hardly get through.
Well, it depends on how they park them too.
We got one picture there, you got a trailer sitting on the road, and then you got a camper sitting
Right.
in somebody's yard.
cameras,
You
yeah.
can fix that with just doing no parking on both sides of the street. You have parking only allowed on one side of the street too. You don't
Well,
have to
that's-
necessarily make it-
You can try that, but that turns out to be a nightmare because which side are you gonna allow it on?
My side.
Yeah. so- Yeah, I've been down that road more than one. Yeah, it's not a pleasant.
So I guess that's my one
Yeah.
issue with two, is do we need to address parking trailers in side yards?
And there is kind of an issue too. I mean, there's a number, well, there's probably half a dozen examples across town of box trailers, of old pickup beds that have been converted to trailers, and they'd be parked and stored and there'd be trash on them for who knows how long. So the trailer's permitted, the trash is not, and where do you go with it, you know? So, but, if they've got it in a front yard, they've got no backyard, right? Here's one or two box trailers out there. Is that gonna be permitted? Is that, or do you wanna even address that?
I don't want to address it because trailers are a lot of times economic activity. I mean, people are moving stuff around, their livelihood's involved with it.
And what's that do to the neighbor's property values next door?
Well, this is Beloit. I mean, it's been there since my childhood. We've seen trailers on the street. I personally don't have a problem with it.
Chris, have you ever seen, and I haven't researched this much, where they restrict the size, where we don't have these huge race car trailers and these, big trailers, but only allow the smaller? Have you ever seen it?
No, I'm not aware of anything like that. And again, I didn't research this, what other communities are doing. This is the problem in our community.
Has the planning commission addressed this?
No, no. And because we don't have any code, whether it's in zoning or nuisance. We don't have any way to address this. It used to be in the statutes, it's a traffic issue. But it was, the language on parking trailers on the streets or thoroughfares was really kind of ambiguous. It was very vague and hard to enforce. And I've noticed now that it's not even there anymore. So, I don't know whether it's pulled all together.
Well,
or just-
I think we.
Certainly not the STO.
Address these utility trailers, because like I said, if you're gonna be in that business or have a trailer, you should have in mind where you're gonna put it. I've thought about buying a little trailer to haul my scooter on, but I'm not gonna park it in my backyard, so I don't buy one, because I don't think it's right. I just,
Well, and the calls I get, complaints I get, doesn't matter whether it's a little lawnmower trailer or a big, auto hauler, right? It's just, they're a nuisance.
If that's adopted, then who enforces that? Law enforcement or you?
Well, it'll be me, it'll be a code, it won't be a state statute that law enforcement enforces. It won't be in the STO, it'll be in nuisance abatement codes.
well, this is off a little bit from this, but like over in one part of town, somebody parks a feed truck on the street every night.
Mm.
That's not really permissible, is it?
Well, and that's the kind of thing that falls under the truck route,
Right.
right? And I don't know if that truck is large enough to qualify for that truck
Would a
route.
tandem be?
Yeah, I don't know what those rules are.
I'm just asking because,
Yeah.
okay, now, is that you or is that law enforcement?
That's probably parking, that's by law enforcement.
That would be
That's
law
gonna be law
enforcement, enforce the,
No,
yeah.
it's not. I get along with it. Seldom's plan. No, it's not.
I guess I'd suggest you come up with,
Yeah.
with something, and, I mean.
Give us a start.
I mean, because I mean, if I'm part of the problem, then you come and research it, we decide that, hey, this is what we're gonna do. then
We'll create some language then, bring that to you for further discussion.
Yeah, but kids, you're conscious of it, and you're concerned about it. And some of them just don't care, you know.
This was something I tried to enforce 10 years, 12 years ago when I first came on board, and I started getting calls on it. Kent was one of the first to comply willingly. He just did. And, but it's something
Some
I,
people don't have a place.
Sorry?
Some people have a trailer and they really don't have a place.
they don't.
But they can find a place.
That's true, but, okay, we'll come up with something and bring it to you. Thank you, guys.
It's a trash trailer, like a Christmas.
Yeah, we're done.
Excuse me.
It's over.
It's not a very big one, but it's like.